Old cell phones, TVs, and computers are often exported from the United States to other countries for recycling or disposal. Hazardous materials such as mercury and cadmium inside the electronics pollute the environment and harm those who come into contact with them. These materials are valuable, so those living near electronic waste dumps, usually in poverty-stricken areas in the global south, sometimes collect them to sell. As they search for expensive copper wires and other valuables without the proper safety equipment and procedures, these people, often children, burn and otherwise injure themselves. Until we are able to manufacture these devices with safer materials, we need better recycling and disposal methods. You can play a small part in improving this problem by ethically recycling your own electronic devices. I recently brought an old cell phone to Fortune Plastic and Metal, located in Tampa, Florida. Fortune Plastic and Metal is an R2 certified electronics recycling center, which means that the facility meets certain safety and environmental standards created by the EPA in cooperation with other stakeholders. As I arrived at the center, I saw piles of scrap metal, plastic, and wires. These items are dumped into landfills in the US and abroad every day, but at this facility they are sorted and sent out for recycling. While these piles may not look pretty, they represent a positive effort to reduce the amount of waste and chemicals that will be shipped to overseas landfills. Fortune Plastic and Metal works with businesses to recycle electronics in bulk, and affiliated companies provide services for individuals. I visited the facility thinking I would simply drop off the cell phone and leave, but employees were very friendly and even offered to speak with us. Carl Z described the company's operations in greater detail. After our interview, Carl offered to give us a brief tour of the facility.
A business. However, when we receive material in, cell phones, for example, they will be dismantled to the point where they'll remove the battery and send that back to a recycling facility. Because your NiCad batteries, your lithium batteries, all that requires special care.
Right.
Okay. So we send those off, and we get certificate of destructions and things like that. Your cell phone will then also be sent to a facility that will chop up and remove all of the gold, all of the different coppers and all that in the circuitry. So.
And does that stuff remain in the U.S.?
Some does,
Okay.
Some doesn't. Depending upon where we send the load, because we're here to make money,
Right.
but we're also here to do it responsibly.
Right.
Okay, so there are certain facilities like in Hong Kong that we sell to. There are some facilities here in Minnesota that we sell to. Different various places.
And so you do the dismantling here, and then you ship out the different parts. Okay.
Now, like cell phones, those we just remove the battery.
Right.
Okay, but as far as like say a larger piece of equipment comes in, we'll separate the components as much as we can. So. But we do the best we can. Screwdrivers, wire clippers, things like that.
For the work area there?
Yeah. And we'll get in all sorts of material. Right now they're working on a telecommunications project. They send us.
This is an internet server and an old cathode ray tube television. They are being safely stored until they can be properly disposed of, due to the hazardous materials inside of them. The sorting and storage area that we toured was loud and busy. There were boxes full of sorted parts that would be reused instead of dumped or exported to overseas landfills. Sheila Zorno explained what makes the company's recycling practices more ethical than other disposal methods.
So what does it mean to recycle electronics ethically?
They don't end up in a landfill, they are reused. They take all of these parts and we sell them to people who remake things out of them. And I guess they use the parts of computers to make new computers and other equipment as well. They can take the boards out of it and make other stuff. So That way it does not end up in just the landfill like we used to do.
Right.
People used to just throw everything away and it ended up in the landfill. And now people have decided let's make businesses out of it to make money, and then we're helping the environment at the same time. So I think it's a good thing.
The global problem of electronic waste is something in which we are all culpable. The issue requires more research, regulation, and international cooperation. But each of us can make a small difference by choosing to responsibly recycle our own unused electronic devices.